Just last week, federal agents raided 2 homes of rapper and music mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs in Los Angeles and Miami. Combs is the subject of a federal investigation.
You know, when it comes to rewriting history, it's trying to rewrite history.
Hold on to your seats, folks, because we got some jaw-dropping celebrity drama coming your way. Recent raids on the lavish mansions of none other than Sean Diddy Combs has unearthed a bombshell connection to one of the most infamous unsolved mysteries in music history: assassination of rap icon Tupac. But here's the twist. It's not just Diddy in the hot seat. Oh no, Snoop Dogg's name has been dragged into the mix too. The details are shocking as they come.
And adapt to any environment and be a chameleon. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I gotta go back to where I'm comfortable.
Now rewind back to the 90s, a time of East Coast, West Coast rap rivalry that shook the music world to its core. It's here that the seeds of the scandal was allegedly sown, according to retired FBI agent Phil Carson, that there's reason to believe that Diddy may have had a hand in ordering Shakur's million hit with Snoop Dogg, allegedly playing a role in the sinister plot.
All these years later, we finally find out that it was Orlando Anderson who pulled the trigger, Keefy D who gave him the gun and set it up, and P. Diddy who paid them. Done.
And who spilled the beans on this explosive revelation, none other than suspected Tupac's assassination accomplice, Dwayne Key D. Davis, who's now facing the possibility of spending the rest of his days behind bars. But wait, it gets even juicier. Isn't just singing about Shakur's assassination, he's also claiming that Diddy offered him another cool million to take out none other than Suge Knight, the notorious boss of Death Row Records. Picture this as a fateful night in Vegas. September 7, 1996, when Shakur's life was tragically cut short in a hail of Davis.
If I wouldn't have never met him, I wouldn't have never been involved in this. You know what I'm saying?
Alleges that he and his crew pulled alongside Shakur and Knight with his nephew opening fire on Tupac's BMV. It's a chilling tale that adds another layer of intrigue to this already sensational story. And as if that wasn't enough, the recent raids Diddy's mansions weren't just your run-of-the-mill busts. Law enforcement sources suggest they were prompted by a mounting pile of lawsuits accusing Diddy of everything from sex to substance crimes. So what's the truth behind these shocking allegations? Who else might be implicated in this web of deceit and betrayal? Buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into the murky waters of celebrity scandal, where the truth is often stranger than fiction. Let's rewind to the 1990s, the era of the East Coast, West Coast rap feud, where tensions were running high. Snoop Dogg, then under the Death Row Records banner, was a prominent figure in the West Coast hip-hop scene.
People were starting to say it's an East Coast, West Coast rivalry because it was people that's trying to make money. It was true people trying to make careers, it was people trying to get famous.
But his relationship with label boss Suge Knight turned sour when Snoop departed from Masterpiece No Limit Records in 1996. This move fueled a feud that would linger for years, with Suge Knight publicly branding Snoop as a rat and a police informer interview.
Everybody else was scared of that.
Right.
Everybody, that's when Suge Knight was the monster, the boogeyman. That's when he was the boogeyman.
With Rolling Stone magazine, Knight didn't mince words, accusing Snoop of being a police informant and alleging that he had never been in a real fight, often running to the police at the first sign of trouble. The rift between the two intensified as Knight faced legal troubles, with Snoop Dogg's departure from Death Row becoming a focal point in their ongoing animosity.
And he was gang related, so it was like our first meeting was on bad terms because we were still gang affiliated and we were using gang terminology on the introduction.
But it wasn't just personal vendettas driving the feud. Suge Knight has repeatedly insinuated that Snoop Dogg may have had a hand in the assassination of Shakur. Knight's claims stem from the fateful night of September 7, 1996, when Tupac was fatally shot in Las Vegas. According to Knight, Snoop had prior knowledge of the events that transpired that night and may have even played a role in orchestrating the attack on Tupac's life in a shocking segment on his podcast Colette, called Knight and Demanded Answers, from Snoop Dogg stating that his former, the artist, had some explaining to do. Regarding Tupac's assassinations, Knight pointed to the alleged warnings given by Snoop to the Dog Pound rapper. Daz Dillinger advised him not to accompany the Death Row crew to Vegas that night because something's going to happen. Knight's allegations didn't stop there. He also claimed that Snoop Dogg and Daz Dillinger collaborated with one of Shakur's alleged assassins, further implicating them in the assassination conspiracy.
So nobody's mad. I hit y'all with the facts, and the fans are mad about the truth.
Oh, the accusations didn't go unnoticed by Snoop Dogg, who vehemently denied any involvement in Tac Toys. However, the cloud of suspicion continues to hang over him. Fueled by the ongoing feud between him and Sue Knight, as well as the testimonies of individuals like Dwayne K. Davis, who has implicated both Diddy and Snoop Dogg in the Tupac assassination, let's delve into the intricate dynamics between Shakur and Snoop Dogg have a relationship. Marred by jealousy, betrayal, and underlying tensions, many observers have pointed out that Snoop's admiration for Tupac,
Jews like Snoop, for example, they have a way where they acting like they praising Pac, but they putting them down.
was not without its former outlaw rapper. Napoleon sheds light on this, suggests that Snoop's praise for Shakur might have concealed subtle digs, implying that Snoop may have harbored envy towards the L-rap icon's rising star.
You get these type of individuals always kicking dirt on Pac name after they made their millions from doing these documentaries and stuff.
The rift between Shakur and Snoop deepened due to Snoop's continued friendships with figures like Diddy and b.i.g, key players in the East Coast-West Coast feud that Shakur found himself embroiled in while Snoop basked in the limelight of his own success. Shakur's allegiance to the West Coast caused clash with Snoop's associations, leading to a simmering resentment between the two.
But I've always been like the class clown ever since I was a kid, so I was able to try different things. I was able to be different and not be afraid to go out on a limb.
But the animosity didn't stop there. Rumors abound that Sue Knight is ever the enigmatic figure in the rap world, allegedly targeted Snoop Dogg. Viewing his connections with rival factions as a betrayal, reports suggest that Snoop lived in constant fear for his life, with Knight's looming presence casting a shadow over their tumultuous relationship in a chilling revelation depicted in the Tupac biopic. All Eyes on Me, Snoop was portrayed as being on edge, armed with a concealed knife, aboard a plane with Shakur and Knight, wary of potential retaliation for perceived disloyalty.
As if I was scared. Death Row looked at me as like a traitor. The next day,
the tension reached its peak as Shakur's assassination sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community, with suspicion swirling and allegiance, and questioned Snoop found himself under scrutiny for his past associations and perceived betrayals coming under intense scrutiny, while some speculate that Snoop's fear for his own safety may have driven him to conspire against Shakur, and Shug and others vehemently defend his innocence, citing his contributions to the genre and his proclaimed brotherhood with Shakur. But as the spotlight intensifies on Snoop Dogg, darker allegations emerge, casting a shadow over his legacy. Knight has ignited controversy by questioning the legitimacy of Snoop's ownership of the iconic label from behind bars. Knight alleges that Snoop fraudulently acquired Death Row, painting a picture of deceit and betrayal within the rap industry's inner circles. In a revealing interview with TMZ, Knight asserting that Snoop's ownership of Death Row was tainted by bankruptcy fraud orchestrated by his former business partner, Michael Harrio Harris Knight.
If you look at it, they committed fraud. They committed bankruptcy fraud. I didn't lose my company by doing anything wrong.
Contends that the label was unlawfully seized from him through deceptive legal maneuvers, undermining the authenticity of Snoop's acquisition, despite acknowledging Snoop's role in the label history. Knight maintains that Death Row will never be the same without his leadership at the helm. Of Knight's accusations add a new layer of complexity to Snoop Dogg's narrative, challenging perceptions of his rise to prominence within the rap world. Allegations of fraud and deception raise troubling questions about the integrity of the industry and length to which individuals will go to wield power and influence. But let's not forget, Snoop is no stranger to controversy and crime in general. The tumultuous past is riddled with renin, with the law and associations with the darker side of life, from his involvement with the Rollin' 20s Crips to his multiple stints behind bars. Snoop's journey to stardom has been anything but conventional. As a teenager, Snoop Dogg was already entangled in gang culture. Member of the notorious RL in the 20s Crips, one of the most prominent African-American street gangs in Long Beach, California, his early brushes with the law saw him in and out of jail for years, facing charges related to substances and gang-related activities. Despite his eventual ascent to fame, Snoop's past continued to haunt him, with arrests both in the United States and abroad. Including incidents in Sweden and Norway. Substance dealing was another facet of Snoop's life. As a means of survival and the harsh realities of his environment, he didn't shy away from the trade, dealing various recreational substances that he continues to advocate for despite its legal complexities. Of the darkest chapter in Snoop's past came in 1993, when he and his bodyguards were charged with first-degree assassination in connection to the fatal shooting of a rival gang member. Despite the media frenzy surrounding the trial, both Snoop and his bodyguards were acquitted in 1996. However, the controversy pushed Snoop to distance himself from the gang lifestyle and focus on his music career. But even as he soared to new heights of fame, Snoop couldn't shake off his troubled history. In 2007, Australia banned him from entering the country due to his criminal record involving substances and firearms, a decision that was later overturned. 2008 Snoop's personal life was equally tumultuous. At just 17, he was kicked out of his mother's house due to his involvement with gangs and substances, leading to periods of homelessness where he lived out of his car until it was towed away along with all his possessions. Despite the challenges, Snoop persevered. Driven by a desire to leave behind the dangerous lifestyle that threatened not only his own life, but also that of his family, so that the stakes couldn't be higher for Snoop Dogg. With accusations swirling around his alleged involvement in one of the most notorious unsolved assassinations in music history, the fallout could be catastrophic for his career and reputation if there is any truth to the claims made by individuals like Doing K to Davis, and the mounting legal troubles facing Sean Diddy Combs. Snoop could find himself at the center of a scandal that rocks the hip-hop world to its core. But as the investigation unfolds, only time will tell whether Snoop will emerge unscathed or if his past will finally catch up with him in the most devastating way possible. As we wrap up this deep dive into the murky waters of celebrity scandal, we're left with more questions than answers. What do you think about the allegations swirling around Snoop Dogg and his connection to Shakur's assassination? Do you believe there's truth to the claims, or is it all just smoke and mirrors? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay tuned for more jaw-dropping revelations from the world of celebrity gossip.